One sunny afternoon, Scott received an unexpected phone call. An urgent matter required his attention, and he had to leave the apartment immediately. Concerned for Picnic, he made sure to leave him with plenty of food and water before locking the front door behind him. Scott assumed Picnic would nap lazily, awaiting his return. Meanwhile, in a neighboring alleyway, a red cat named Rusty was making his way through the streets. Rusty had been a street cat his whole life, surviving on his wits and adaptability. Today, his curious nature led him to Scott's apartment building. Upon seeing the open window on the first floor, Rusty's mischievous instincts kicked in, and he decided to explore the premises. Rusty stealthily entered the apartment through the open window, blissfully unaware of Picnic peacefully snoozing in the bedroom. As he tiptoed through the apartment, his tail flicking with excitement, Rusty accidentally knocked over a small vase, sending it crashing to the floor. The sudden noise startled Picnic awake, his green eyes wide with fear and confusion. As Picnic rubbed the sleep from his eyes, he noticed a stranger standing in the doorway. His heart raced with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. The stranger, Rusty, took one look at Picnic and decided it was the perfect opportunity for some mischief. Without warning, Rusty began pawing at Scott's belongings, knocking over books and toppling frames from the shelves. Picnic's initial fear transformed into determination. Something inside him clicked, and he knew he had to protect Scott's home from this intruder. He lunged at Rusty, his claws outstretched, but Rusty seemed unfazed by Picnic's display of bravery. The battle of wills between the two cats had begun. Picnic and Rusty darted through the apartment, knocking over furniture and scattering objects in their wake. It was a chaotic scene as they clawed and hissed, each fighting for dominance. But Picnic, driven by his love and loyalty for Scott, summoned strength he didn't know he possessed. With a swift bite to Rusty's back, Picnic managed to gain the upper hand. Startled and in pain, Rusty retreated towards the open window, his tail between his legs. Picnic pursued him, growling fiercely, unwilling to let the intruder escape without a lasting message. As Rusty leapt out into the alleyway, Picnic let out one final defiant yowl before retreating back into the apartment, panting heavily. Hours later, Scott returned home, oblivious to the chaos that had transpired in his absence. The moment he stepped into the apartment, his eyes widened with disbelief. Belongings were strewn everywhere, and a once priceless vase lay shattered on the floor. A wave of anger and disappointment washed over him, and he couldn't help but feel betrayed by his beloved Picnic. After that incident, the landlord paid no attention to Picnic for a week. One evening, overcome by curiosity, Scott decided to watch the surveillance tape in the house. As he watched the events unfold, his heart sank. Scott realized that he was wrong to resent the cat.